Good evening, this is the Northern Sun Experience. I'm David Brown, and a Central Minnesota dynasty may have its first real challenge of the season. Concordia-St. Paul's volleyball team has won the last 7 Division II national championships, but so far this year it's been Minnesota Duluth firmly at the top of the standings. The Bulldogs have lost just once this season, and the number 2 team in the nation welcomed the number 3 team in the nation in a rare top 5 national showdown. UMD took the first 2 sets and they were looking for a sweep in the third. Mariah Scharf drops it in and the Bulldogs have a 5-point lead. Later in the set, Ashley Hinch sets up Maddie Soroin on the right side for the kill, and the lead grows to 6. The Golden Bears would fight back. Anna Schlock with the vicious kill off the left side. Concordia is trying to keep things close, but the Bulldogs were just too much. Soroin with another kill off the right block. UMD sweeps Concordia-St. Paul 3-0. The Bulldogs are now 18-1. They've won 12 games in a row. Now, despite the loss to Duluth, Concordia fared much better the previous night in St. Cloud. First set, Casey Williams sets up Emma Lang for the game point. Golden Bears up 1 set. They're up 2 sets now, but the Huskies not backing down. Taylor Rollo to Shannon Klink off the left side. St. Cloud would take set 3, but Concordia wouldn't let this one get away. After a nice save by St. Cloud State, Casey Williams just drops it into no man's land, and the Golden Bears take this one 3-1. In other Minnesota action from Friday, Winona State was at Crookston. Off the serve, the Warriors' Lauren Krundowitz taps it over. Warriors with an early lead. Later, Minnesota Crookston goes for the kill off the Winona serve, but it's blocked by the Warriors' Rachel Polland, and Winona State takes the first set. And they would sweep from there. McKenna Larson sets up Sydney Racky for the southpaw kill. Winona State tops Minnesota Crookston 3-0. Well, let's kick things up a notch with soccer, and no team is hotter right now than Minnesota State. The Mavericks have yet to lose this season, and they went into this past weekend hoping to maintain perfection. On Saturday, they traveled to North Dakota to take on Minot State. 25th minute, Emily Morris blasts one from 20 yards out, Mavs with the 1-0 lead. But just 7 minutes later, the Beavers tied up on this Kristen Long goal. We're tied at 1 going into halftime. But that's where the Mavs would pull away. Rebecca Peterson gets it off the left side in the 73rd minute, and then off the corner kick, Sydney Trotter will try to knock it in, but she actually gets some help from Minot's Kennedy Bohm. 3-1 lead on the own goal, and that would be your final from Minot. The next day, the Mavs traveled south to Bismarck to battle UMary. 12th minute, Emily Morris sets up Corey Cronforce with the header, and Minnesota State gets another early lead. 54th minute now, penalty kick for the Mavs, and Dana Savino nails it. 2-0 at that point, and the Mavs shut out UMary 3-0. They're now 12-0 on the season, and they were just named the new number 1 team in the country in the NSCAA Continental Tire Rankings. In other soccer action from Saturday, Winona State traveled to Minnesota State Moorhead, and this one was a defensive affair. Warriors in the Dragon zone, but Ashley Leentz comes up with one of her 10 saves. Then a little bit later, it's MSU Moorhead's turn, but the shot by Erin Nyberg is too high. We would go into overtime with no score on the board, but watch this. Elena Nee fakes the free kick, Madeline Jansen actually kicks it, and the sick bend goes top left. An amazing goal and a stunning finish. Winona State tops MSU Moorhead 1-0 in overtime. Also on Saturday, St. Cloud State took on Augustana in Sioux Falls. No score second half, Tage Thorson corrals the ball and fires on net. That goal gave the Huskies a 1-0 lead in the 63rd minute. Back come the Vikings. 79th minute, Peyton Pry centers it and knocks it in from 18 yards out. We're tied at 1 late in the second half. And then Augie shows that persistence pays off. Mackenzie Main's first kick bounces off a defender, but she puts the rebound home. That goal in the 83rd minute gave the Vikings a 2-1 lead and a 2-1 final score over the Huskies. When we come back, we'll turn things over to football, where a couple of road teams pulled off nail-biting wins in the final seconds.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. The University of Mary's football season thus far has been bookended by the closest games of the year. In Week 1, the Marauders used a 15-point fourth quarter to top SMSU by 1 point. And last week, a missed extra point led to a 1-point loss to Bemidji State. This past Saturday, UMary hoping to have a little more breathing room either way as they took on Minot State in the Battle of the Big Lake. First quarter, Ben Jolliffe keeps it himself on the play action, 4-yard score, 7-0 Marauders. And if it worked once, why not do it again? Jolliffe can't find anyone open, but he does find a lane. 9-yard run makes it 14-0 at halftime. Second half, back come the Beavers. Zach Kuna rolls to his left, fires downfield, and finds his man Leon Ladeau, 51-yard strike, cutting the lead to 14-7. Later in the third, Kuna to Ladeau again, 13 yards to the back corner. We're tied at 14. And that's when things started to get crazy. Jolliffe's pass is picked off by Bryce Broom, who sweeps his way into the end zone. Minot takes the lead 20-14, but then watch this. The ensuing extra point is blocked, but it's recovered by Dalton Houghton on the line, who dives in for the 2-point conversion. 22-14 Beavers. The Marauders come back. Darius Gravely gets in from 3 yards out. 2-point conversion no good, so it's only 22-20 after 3. Fourth quarter, UMary retakes the lead. Ben Jolliffe to his brother Nick. Nice toe tap for the 16-yard score. 2-point conversion good, 28-22 Marauders. Field goal makes it 31-22 Marauders when Glenn Burrell takes it on the jet sweep for the Beavers. 3-yard touchdown cuts the lead to 31-29. Minot State is first and goal with less than 20 seconds to go, but Zach Kuna is hit by Seth Walton and the fumble is recovered by Grant Singer. Absolutely heartbreaking. Minot State falls 31-29 to the UMary Marauders. Switching over to Minnesota, Crookston took on Bemidji State for the traveling Hubcap Trophy, signifying their Highway 2 rivalry. Golden Eagles up 3-0 in the second, but the Beavers are driving. Brady Schmidt gets in from 5 yards out, and it's 7-3 Bemidji State. Later in the second, Schmidt proves he can run and catch as he takes the Ryan Shields screen pass in. 8-yard strike makes it 14-3 Beavers. Third quarter, now 17-3, Bemidji goes back to the ground with his 2-yard scamper from Tahi Nomain. 24-3 Beavers, and Bemidji State would put it away with the long ball. Shields goes up, and Blake Holder comes on down, 69-yard pitch and catch, 31-3 at that point, and Bemidji State tops Minnesota Crookston 38-3. Let's head to St. Cloud, where the Huskies were hoping to give Minnesota Duluth its first loss of the season, and this is the way you start. Nate Meyer, 39-yard touchdown to Joe Mooney, 7-0 St. Cloud State. Back come the Bulldogs. Drew Bauer sneaks in from 1 yard out. We're tied at 7. Logan Louders would get 2 second-quarter touchdowns for UMD, including this one, to give the Bulldogs a 21-7 lead. Later in the second, some trickery from the Huskies. The fake field goal as holder Taylor Berger finds Grant Thayer, 18 yards. That cuts the lead to 21-14 at halftime. It's 24-14 now in the third when Duluth expands the lead. Bauer finds Aaron Roth on the curl, and then Roth does the rest, weaving his way in and out, avoiding tacklers on his way to a 27-yard touchdown. 31-14 at that point, and the Bulldogs move to 6-0 with a 44-21 win over St. Cloud State. And our last game in the North was a doozy. Northern State and Minnesota State Moorhead. This is Brock Colander breaking through the line, 20-yard touchdown, 6-0 Dragons. It's 18-0 when Northern State strikes back. Cameron Pudwill plunges in from 1 yard out, cutting the lead to 18-7. Then, with just seconds to go before halftime, the Wolves take a bite out of the Dragons. Jared Jacobson buys some time, rolls to his right, sets and fires to Zach Barber, who somehow gets ahead of the Moorhead defenders. 64-yard TD makes it 18-14 at the break. Third quarter, Wolves pull ahead. Jacobson keeps it on the read option and weaves his way to the end zone, 21-18 Northern State. But after 21 unanswered from the Wolves, the Dragons score 14 unanswered. 2 Zane Medhog touchdowns, including this one, make it 32-21 Moorhead. But then it's Northern's turn to go unanswered. Nick Truan takes the handoff, goes up the left side, and he must love Miley Cyrus because he can't stop and he won't stop. 75 yards to the house. That cuts the lead to 32-27. Fourth quarter now, Wolves retake the lead. The reverse to Zach Barber, who goes 19 yards, 34-32 Northern State. They're up 40-38, fourth and goal for the Dragons, but Hodges' pass to Corey Ambrose is batted away by Zach Neer with just seconds to go, and Northern State wins a nail-biter 40-38. The Wolves improve to 4-2, while the Dragons drop to 1-5. When we come back, we look at the South Division contests, highlighted by the Key to the City game in Sioux Falls between USF and Augustana.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
The University of Sioux Falls may be the most recent school to join the NSIC, but its presence is already having an impact. For the past 2 years, USF has reestablished its rivalry with nearby Augustana College in the Key to the City football game. The Cougars won the first 2 contests, and they were looking to go 3 for 3 on Saturday. Second quarter, Cougars down 3-0, but not for long. Luke Papillion finds Brady Rose, who makes some nice moves into the end zone. USF takes a 7-3 lead, and they would not relinquish it. Later in the second, handoff to Nephi Garcia, who makes his way through the first line of defense, cuts back, and heads up the right side to Patert. 45-yard touchdown run, 14-3 USF. Vikings would try and strike back in the second half. CJ Ham cuts back inside for the 5-yard score. Extra point no good, but the Cougar leads cut to 8. But Bradley Hatfield would go 3 for 3 on field goals, and the Cougs keep the Key to the City for another year. 23-12 is your final. In other action, Wayne State traveled to St. Paul to take on Concordia. Wildcats up 10-0 and looking for more. Lane Yates gets in from 12 yards out. 17-0 Wildcats. Back come the Golden Bears. Jared Russo on the play action finds Jimmy Marreri in the end zone. 36-yard score cuts the lead to 17-7. Later in the second, 4th and 9 for the Wildcats. Zach Osborne slips but then fires downfield, and check out the one-handed catch by Cole McDaniel. 35-yard touchdown. Check it out again. McDaniel puts his left paw up and somehow brings it in. A phenomenal play, 24-7 Wayne State. Just before halftime, it's now 24-14, but Osborne finds a diving Adam Stark for the score, 16-yard touchdown, 31-14 at halftime, and the Wildcats top the Golden Bears 54-14. Southwest Minnesota State hoping to give Upper Iowa its first loss at homecoming in Marshall. That's Charlie Kern on the QB keeper, 7-0 Mustangs. Peacocks take a 10-7 lead in the second, but Kern shows he can move through the air as well. Play action up top, and Nathaniel Hewitt beats his defender. 64-yard pitch and catch. SMSU retakes the lead 14-10. Third quarter, Upper Iowa punches back. Chris Smith goes up the left side, cuts back to the middle, and he'll fight the last few Mustang defenders into the end zone. 55-yard touchdown, 17-14 Peacocks. Fourth quarter now, Kern finds Jordan Cross in the corner, 8-yard score. Mustangs retake the lead 21-17, and they would not relinquish it. Kern hits Cross again, 24-yard touchdown, and the Mustangs knock off the Peacocks 28-25. The first game of the weekend is the last game in our highlights. Winona State hosted Minnesota State last Thursday. Warriors up 3-0, but not for long. Connor Thomas, 4-yard touchdown. Mavs take a 7-3 lead. Later in the first, Ricky Lloyd works the play action, finds a wide-open Dorian Buford. 51 yards, 14-3 Minnesota State. Mavericks well ahead in the second half when this happens. Nick Pieracini's pass is tipped by Winona State, then tipped by Buford, who somehow grabs it and scores. 56 yards. Check it out again. Minnesota State tops Winona State 44-24. When we come back, our Under the Northern Sun feature showcases Southwest Minnesota State.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
Welcome back. Well, as we do every week, it's time for Under the Northern Sun. And tonight, it's Southwest Minnesota State University in Marshall, Minnesota, where student athletes not only take pride in being active around campus, but around the community as well.
Southwest Minnesota State University opened its doors in 1967 and offers 50 majors, 48 minors, as well as pre-professional programs, master's degrees, and distance learning opportunities. Personal attention is what sets SMSU apart. With an 18-to-1 student-to-teacher ratio, students receive the individual attention they desire as they pursue their academic goals. The campus has been transformed over the last decade, with over $150 million of construction, renovation, and improvements, including a new student center, a renovated library and science labs, along with the Schwann Regional Event Center. SMSU is proud of its rich tradition in intercollegiate athletics. The university offers 17 sports, including 7 men's sports, 9 women's sports, and 1 co-ed. Mustang teams have captured more than 60 conference championships, 2 NCAA region championships, 3 wheelchair basketball national titles, and has had 4 individual national champions. More impressive than the on-field accomplishments for Mustang student athletes has been the success off the field of play. The last 2 academic years have seen more than 350 Mustang student athletes generate an athletics department record GPA of nearly 3.1.
You know, the one thing that I truly believed in is that the characteristics that a student athlete has in the classroom that allows them to be successful are the same types of characteristics that we need to be successful in our sport.
SMSU student athletes are also very involved with various civic engagement projects throughout the community. SMSU Athletics has been honored 5 times with the Division II Community Engagement Award of Excellence for various events, including the Egg Bowl, Smoke Fest, and the Mustang Shootout.
Civic engagement as a whole has been an extremely important part of the success of our department, and I truly believe that the coaches and student athletes' impact in the community has directly impacted our department from a fundraising standpoint and in a number of ways. Corporate sponsorships have been up over the last couple years, as well as the attendance at our events.
One of the major projects SMSU student athletes are involved with is Mustang Mail,
where our student athletes and the public school system get together and we impacted their language arts program and some curriculum where we actually communicate with young people in the elementary school via writing letters, and we're very fortunate to be able to have our student athletes go out into the community.
Our students, they play such an active role as it is right now, and I think what they do, they symbolize, especially for young people, what those young people can do, what they can strive to do, who they can strive to be. They really represent so much hope, so much promise, and they give people opportunities and a vision to strive for that a lot of these young kids wouldn't have had otherwise if they didn't come in contact with our athletes, with our students.
Doing camps and other community activities are awesome, and it really puts in perspective what we are as student athletes. I mean, there's more to life than just your sport, and for some of us, you realize that sooner than later than life. So, and it's amazing that we can give back in those fashions, because not everyone gets that opportunity of doing that, and you can really make a huge influence on the community and even for us as student athletes. I mean, there's a lot of us who want to be coaches and want to do different activities in our respective sport.
Our students are strong students, and our student athletes are very, very strong students in the classroom, in their labs, and on the field. And that's the important thing, that they have this balance in their lives. They're really students first, they're student athletes. And we are so proud of the fact their GPAs are so strong. The cumulative GPAs are so strong and are increasing every year, which is the important part as well. So they're students and athletes, and we are developing them for life. And they work on their character, they work on their academics, they work on their involvement, and of course the athletic competitions as well. It all plays into it.
Mustang Athletics, combining academics, community involvement, and student-athlete excellence. Southwest Minnesota State University. Your success story begins here.
When we come back, it's DBs Pics, my top 5 plays of the week on the Northern Sun Experience.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by CU Mortgage Direct LLC, Sanford Health, and Dakota Land Honda.
It's time to honor the best of the best with DBs Pics, my top 5 plays of the past week in the NSIC. At number 5, we go to St. Cloud, where the Huskies work the fake field goal to perfection. Taylor Berger hits Grant Thayer for the 18-yard score against Minnesota Duluth. That cuts the lead to 7, but it would not be enough as the Huskies fall to the Bulldogs 44-21. Nevertheless, this gutsy call comes in at number 5. At number 4, we go to Moorhead, where a wild affair between the Dragons and the Wolves switched hands multiple times, just like on this reverse for Northern State. Zach Barber takes it in from 19 yards out to give Northern a 34-32 lead. Check it out again, a great play call to get into the end zone. The Wolves would go on to top the Dragons in a close game, but no contest here. Barber's reverse is number 4. At number 3, we go southeast to Winona, where Minnesota State's Dorian Buford keeps listening to Nelly because he's mastered the tip drill. Somehow hauls it in for a 56-yard touchdown. Watch it again. The pass is underthrown and nearly picked off by Winona State, but Buford keeps his concentration and hauls it in. The Mavs stay perfect on the season thanks to Buford's amazing catch, which comes in at number 3. At number 2, we'll go back to Moorhead, where once again the road team is pulling off some tricks. On the free kick, Madeline Jansen bends it just inside the top left corner for the winning goal in overtime. This broke a scoreless tie in the extra frame, a heartbreaker for MSU Moorhead, but the sick bend gives Winona State a 1-0 win and play number 2 of my top 5. But the number 1 play of the week goes to Wayne State's Cole McDaniel, the one-handed left-handed catch on 4th and 9 for the Wildcats. Quarterback Zach Osborne slips, regains his composure, and somehow McDaniel hauls it in. Wayne State would top Concordia 54-14, and Cole McDaniel is on top of my top 5 for this past week. Once again, a thank you to all NSIC member schools for contributing their time and video to make this show happen. We'll see you next week on The Experience.